अमरे त्रिपुरारे कुम्भोद्भवनुति पत्र कामरे त्रिपुरारे कुम्भोद्भवनुति पत्र कामेश्वरी वल्लभ कुबेर मित्र कामेश्वरी वल्लभ कुबेर मित्र कपाली काल भैरवी त्रिविद्या विनुदनाद नाम क्रिया तोषित कपाली काल भैरवी त्रिविद्या विनुदनाद नाम क्रिया तोषित शिव 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 वो महादेव शंभो शिव रमण महाभरदं समस्व शिव 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 वो महादेव शंभो. अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अन्यशमबीतकुजाम्बा सामेतम् अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि स्मरणात् कैवल्यप्रद स्मरणात् कैवल्यप्रद चरणारविन्दं तरुणादित्यकोटि शङ्काशसितानन्दं करुणारसादिगन्धं करुणारसादिगन्धं शरणागतसुरवृन्दं अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अन्यशमबीतकुजाम्बा सामेतं अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अप्राकृत तेजोमयलिङ्गम् अप्राकृत तेजोमयलिङ्गम् अद्यद्भुतगर धृतसारङ्गम् अभ्रमेयमप्राणाब्ज भृङ्गम् अभ्रमेयमप्राणाब्ज भृङ्गं मारुडो तुङ्ग वृषतुरङ्गो विभ्रूतमविशेषान्तरङ्गं विभ्रूतमविशेषान्तरङ्गं वीरगुरुगुकतारप्रसङ्गं स्वप्रदीपमौलिविद्रुतगङ्गं स्वप्रकाशसितसोमाग्निपतङ्गम् अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अन्यशमपीतकुजाम्बा सामेतम् अरुणाचल नाथं స్మరామి.
నమః పరమర్షిభ్యో నమః పరమర్షిభ్యాం. హరి ఓం. అంతరాయతిమిరూపశాంతయే శాంతపావనమచంత్యవైభవం తన్నరం వపుషి కుంజరం ముఖే మన్మహే కిమపి తుందిలం మహా. గురుర్బ్రహ్మా గురుర్విష్ణు గురుర్దేవో మహేశ్వర గురుః సాక్షాత్ పరం బ్రహ్మ తస్మై శ్రీ గురవే నమః. ఈశ్వరో గురురాత్మేతి మూర్తిభేద విభాగినే వ్యోమవద్వ్యాప్తదేహాయ దక్షిణామూర్తయే నమః. యస్యాంతన్నాదిమధ్యం నహి కరచరణం నామగోత్రం న సూత్రం నో జాతిర్నైవ వర్ణా న భవతి పురుషో నానపుంసం న చ స్త్రీం నాకారం నో వికారం నహి జనిమరణం నాస్తి పుణ్యం న పాపం తత్వం నో తత్వమేకం సహజ సమరసం సద్గురుం తం నమామి. సదాశివసమారంభాం శంకరాచార్యమధ్యమాం అస్మదాచార్యపర్యంతాం వందే గురుపరంపరాం. మౌనవ్యాఖ్యా ప్రకటితపరబ్రహ్మతత్వం యువానం వర్షిష్టాంతేవ సదృషిగణైరావృతం బ్రహ్మనిష్టైః ఆచార్యేంద్రం కరకలితచిన్ముద్రం ఆనందమూర్తిం స్వాత్మా రామం ముదితవదనం దక్షిణామూర్తిమీడే. వేదాంతార్థవిభాసకాయేతయే శాంతాయ సన్యాసినే అరుణాచలశివః పూర్ణో విభాతి స్వయం. ఆవర్తపుర్యాం జనితం ప్రపద్యే పాండ్యేశదేశే విహృతం ప్రపద్యే శోణాచలప్రస్థచరం ప్రపద్యే భిక్షుం తపః క్లేశసహం ప్రపద్యే ఆబ్రహ్మకీటాంతసమం ప్రపద్యే జితారిషడ్వర్గమహం ప్రపద్యే సర్వజ్ఞతాసారభృతం ప్రపద్యే నిస్సీమకారుణ్యనిధిం ప్రపద్యే అస్మాత్ ప్రపంచాదధికం ప్రపద్యే విశ్వాధిగోక్తేర్విషయం ప్రపద్యే కాలగ్రహగ్రాహభయాపనుత్యైకృతాంతశిక్షాకృతినం ప్రపద్యే వినేతుమార్తిం విషయాధ్వజన్యాం విజ్ఞానమూర్తిం దదతం ప్రపద్యే కందర్పదర్పజ్వరవారణాయ కామారిలీలావతరం ప్రపద్యే ఆజన్మవర్ణివ్రతినం ప్రపద్యే కుండీభృతం దండధరం ప్రపద్యే బ్రహ్మాసనధ్యానరతం ప్రపద్యే బ్రహ్మాత్మభూయం యతినం ప్రపద్యే హరం ప్రపద్యే విజరం ప్రపద్యే స్వతంత్రతాయాః సదనం ప్రపద్యే అమేయ సామర్థ్యవహం ప్రపద్యే విశుద్ధవిజ్ఞానివరం ప్రపద్యే దౌర్భాగ్యతాపత్రయ కర్మమోహ సంతాపహంతారమహం ప్రపద్యే यथार्थसङ्कल्पमपेतपापम् अवाप्तकामं विशुचं प्रपद्ये मनःप्रसादं भजतां ददानं मुग्धस्मितोल्लासिमुखं प्रपद्ये व्यथामशेषां व्यपनीयमूदप्रदेन नाम्ना रमणं प्रपद्ये शिवं प्रपद्ये शिवदं प्रपद्ये गुरुं प्रपद्ये गुणिनं प्रपद्ये मदीयहृत्पद्मजुषं प्रपद्ये शरण्यमीशं शरणं प्रपद्ये तरुणारुणमणिकिरणावलिनिकर् तरुमक्षरमणमहिमालै तेरुनाडिय तिरु अडियार तेरुमरल தெளியப்பரவுதல் பொருளாக கருணாகரமுனிரமணாரியனுவகையினார் சொல்லியது கதியாக அருணாச்சலமென அகமே அறிவொடும் ஆழ்வார் சிவனுலகாழ்வாரே அருணாச்சலவரற்கேற்ற அக்ஷரமணமாலை சாற்ற கருணாகர கணபதியே கரமருளி காப்பாயே அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலாம் ஓங்கார பொருளுப்புயர்வில் நோய் உனையாரறிவார் அருணாச்சலாம் ஔவை போல் எனக்குன் அருளை தந்தனை ஆளுவதுன் கடன் அருணாச்சலம் கண்ணுக்கு கண்ணாய் கண்ணின்றி காணுனை காணுவதெவர் பார் அருணாச்சலாம் காந்தமிரும்பு போர் கவர்ந்தனை விடாமல் கலந்தனோடிருப்பாய் அருணாச்சலம் கிரி உருவாகிய கிருபை கடலே கிருபை கூர்ந்தருள்வாய் அருணாச்சலா கீழ்மேலெங்கும் கிளரொளிமணியன் கீழ்மையை பாய்ச்சை அருணாச்சலம் குற்றமுற்றருத்தனை குணமாய்ப் பணித்தாள் குருவுருவாய் ஒளிர் அருணாச்சலா கூர்வாள் கண்ணியர் கொடுமையிற்படாதருள் கூர்ந்தனை சார்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சல கூர்வாட்கண்ணியர் கொடுமையிற்படாதருள் கூர்ந்தனை சேர்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சல கெஞ்சியும் வஞ்சியாய் கொஞ்சமும் இறங்கிலை அஞ்சலென்றே அருள் அருணாச்சலா கேளாதளிக்குமுன் கேடில் புகழை கேடு செய்யாதருள் அருணாச்சல கையினிற்கனி உன் மெய்ரசம் கொண்டு வகை வெறி குளவருள் அருணாச்சலாம் கொடியிட்டடியரை கொல்லுனை கட்டி கொண்டெங்கன் வாழ்வேன் அருணாச்சல அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலாம் அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல. Yesterday we saw the 28th verse. சாப்பாடுன்னை சார்ந்துணவாயின் உணவாயான் சாந்தமாய் போவன் அருணாச்சல. That Shantam is the fruit of Jnanam. Shantam. Shanti means peace. And peace is our real nature. The Upanishad says peace is self, Atma. Shantoyam Atma. What is this Atman, the self? It is nothing but Shanta, Shanti. And in the presence of Arunachala, or in Bhagavan's presence, everybody experienced that peace, that profound peace. But the usual complaint which most of the seekers will bring in is, many have asked Bhagavan also, when we are here in your presence, we are peaceful. The moment we go out, that Shanti is gone. How to make it stable? This is the common question. It's not one seeker's problem. Usually, when a seeker asks this question, he will be imagining that it is his only he is having that problem. But that is the common question, common doubt. And the answer is, the Shanti which you experienced in the presence of the Master, like a fragrance coming from a fragrant flower. Like that, you experience that solidified presence of peace in the presence of a sage. It gives you an intimation of what is there in you. A glimpse of what is waiting for you. And once the inner being takes that food, now our topic is food. For the body, you take this solid food, Annamayam. And with mind you consume so many psychic food, Manomaya. And with prana, you consume pranic food, energy. But the inner one, the thirst of the innermost core of your being, it can be quenched only by one food, that is peace. Unless you drink that sacred tirtham. Next song, Bhagavan used to say, Chittam kulira. The heart becomes cool, satiated, complete, only when you touch the deepest core of your being, where the ego ceases to operate. You become one with that great ocean of peace. That Arul Oli Kadal, that is Bhagavan's word, Arul Oli Kadal. That effulgence or the effulgent ocean of peace. That Arul can also be translated as peace, because peace is grace. That Arul Oli Kadal. Sukha Kadal. Many words Bhagavan synonymously use. So here, that shapad, that what has to be consumed, differs. The Annamaya is asking for Annamaya, Pranamaya is asking for Pranamaya, the Manomaya is asking for Manomaya, and the Ananda Swarupa is asking for Ananda. The deepermost being, which is made of peace, it is seeking for its own identity, and that crisis you can solve only by finding that Shantam, that peace. So Bhagavan here said, Shapadu unnai sharnd. I wanted that here Shapadu for a seeker, for a jignasu is realization. The word Atma, our real nature or self, in Sanskrit, the etymological meaning of that word is Atti idi Atma. Atma means that which swallows everything. That which swallows everything. So the inner being every day is demonstrating to you its nature, its characteristic of swallowing everything in deep sleep and giving out. Birth, sustenance and samhara, swallowing. So when you come to the Guru, the Sadguru, you are seeking the food of that ultimate experience, that Advaita Jnana. Means you have tremendous thirst to cease to exist as a person. And that is grace. See, Advaita is not a philosophy. Advaita means as a firefly goes and falls in the fire, and of course it is going to be eaten by that fire. Like that, the seeker comes to a Jnana Guru, a Jivan Mukta. But this fire, Arunachala is fire. He will consume. But that fire will not burn you, will not make you suffer. It will burn all your sufferings along with the person who suffers. So Shapadu unnai, the seeker comes to the master with that tremendous hunger for the experience of that non-dual state. Only such a person is a mumukshu. Shankaracharya gives definition, who is a mumukshu? Mumukshu means one who is after moksha. One who wants that ultimate freedom, release. He is an intelligent person who knows that he is not the body. Who knows that he is not the body, he is the self intellectually, he already knows. But he wants to experience it. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena moktum ichha mumukshuta. Swaswarupa avabodha. He wants to experience his own nature, swaswarupa. By the awareness of his self, alone that freedom can result. So that awareness of self-awareness is the food that the seeker is seeking. Shapadunai Sharnd, I approached you to have that non-dual experience. That hunger is grace. Ishvara anugrahadeva pumsam advaita vasana. Mahat bhaya paritranad vipranam upajayate. This is a very famous verse. Dattatreya says, Avadhuta Gita. There that sage Dattatreya says, Ishvara anugrahad. By the grace of Ishvara, by the grace of Lord, this thirst for that Advaita experience arises in a seeker. His own inner being, when it blesses you, your own inner being, when he blesses you, that thirst arises from the deepermost core of your heart. And once that fire starts burning, all fear will be burnt. Mahad bhaya paritranam. You will be released from all kind of fears. Because the root for all fear is this jiva bhava, this individual sense. Once it is erased, fear also goes. Because the person who is afraid, who fears, ceases to exist. And that non-dual being, from whom does fear come to him? There is no dual. There is no Dvaita there. So, Shapadu unnai sharnd, I came to you to experience that non-dual state. But when a seeker goes to the master, he is not clear what he is seeking. It is like a cotton doll which wants to embrace fire. So, Bhagavan says, when I came near you, unavayen, I became your food. You swallowed me. That means the ajnana, the avidya, that the ego is real, was removed. The Guru transmitted that jnana, that the ego is not your real nature. The limitation that ego is imposing on you is not real. And we come to Bhagavan, that is the greatest breakthrough, insight, that what this I is. And when you explore the feeling, the sense I, what this I is, what is my own nature, what is this which is expressing inside me as I? When with tremendous alertness you observe, you watch this sense, your attention, your mind slowly swim into this stream, this current of I. That force of the inner being sucks the mind inward. It is Bhagavan's own words. Bhagavan in one place said, when the mind goes inward, his own death experience. In another place, Bhagavan said, when the mind deep, fascinated by this enquiry, traced the I thought to its source, the fire inside me swallowed the mind. He said, உள்ள இருக்கிற நெருப்பு மனசை சாப்பிட்டுடுத்து. The fire in my heart, in my deeper being, swallowed this mind which is nothing but limitation. Mind means what? Mind means limitation. Mind means which limits you, which puts the infinite being in a limited space, makes you feel that you are a localized entity. So once that limitation is taken off, the Guru, the Shishya, the teaching, everything loses its limitation. When the disciple recognizes his infinite nature, his senses lose their limitation. Actually, ignorance only makes us feel that eye is eye, nose is nose, ear is ear. If you go near a cow, every day I go near the cows. They are looking at you, but you know how actually they look. They do not look through the eyes, they look through the nose. If you go near, they will just take a deep breath and they are sure about the person. We human beings only limit our senses to this part. The whole being is the knowing principle. Awareness is your real eye. விண்ணாதிய விளக்கும் கண்ணாதிய பொறிக்கும் கண்ணாம் மன கண்ணுக்கும் கண்ணாம் மன விண்ணுக்கும் விண்ணாய் ஒரு பொருள் வேறு எண்ணாது இருந்தபடி உள்நாடு உளத்து ஒளிரும் அண்ணாமலை என் ஆன்மா. Bhagavan says, that which illumines everything is this Annamalai, Arunachala, my own real self. It is the real I. It is the sense through which every senses operate. It is infinite. Once the master makes you recognize that inner being, my own I am, my own existence as the most effulgent center. Once you recognize, once you touch that center and you look at the world, this division goes. The seer, the seen, and the process of seeing. The teacher, the teaching, the taught. Everything goes. The teacher looks like infinite space. The teaching is also infinite space. And when you look at yourself, you are also infinite. And Gaudapada Acharya says, he came like an ordinary human being, my master. He had 2 legs. He walked like any other human being. But when I looked at him, I found that he is Akasha. And when he taught me, his teaching was Akasha. And me who experienced it also became Akasha. Jnanena Akasha kalpena dharmanyo gaganopaman Nyeya abhinnena sambuddha tam vande dvipadam varam. That great being, great master came before me like an ordinary human being, and through him I saw infinite sky, infinite space. And when he taught, that knowledge was not limited, it was infinite. And what did that knowledge do? It made me infinite, made me recognize my own being as Akasha. So here, Shantamai Povan, when Bhagavan says Shantam, you can also call it Santam. In Tamil, Shantam becomes Santam also. Santam means, you know what? Santam means Sa-antam, that which concludes, puts a full stop, puts a stop to all movements. The entire movement is samsara. movement of the mind, movement of action, movement of thought, movement of ignorance, movement of discrimination, movement of unrest, movement of estrangement from your own being. Everything comes to a stop, that completion, Purnatva comes, and that is Santamai Povan Arunachala. It is, see, this commentary, I was not aware before. This is Bhagavan is giving you this commentary, but it is perfect. Because I know the language, it is perfect. I know the language, it is correct. So it is not imagined. That Santam means Sa Antam, with completion, with end. It ends the whole movement of samsara. The moment you come to your master, that is Mutrupulli. In Tamil we say, it is Mutru means over. That is why that Alvar sang Mutraparihinan. Ennayum Mutraparihinan. Completely swallowed. That Lord, when I came to him, I wanted to swallow him through all my senses. When another devotee said, when I saw Narayana, I wanted to swallow him through my eyes. I wanted to swallow him through my ears. I wanted to swallow him through my nose. With all my senses, I wanted to swallow him. Netraihi shrotraisha pitva. But he swallowed me. When a devotee surrenders in Valmiki Ramayanam, this devotee Vibhishana goes to Rama and says, I have given up everything. Now Lord, you are my sole refuge. And surrenders. And Rama looks at him. Lord Rama looks at him. There Valmiki says, he looked at Vibhishana as if he is going to swallow him. Chakshurbyam, netrabhyam, pibanniva. As if he is swallowing him through his two eyes. Because for the Lord, a surrendered devotee is also a rare thing. As for us, a real guru is a rare thing to achieve. For Ishvara also, a real seeker is a rare thing. So the moment he gets a real devotee, Lord says he is too precious to me to lose, so I will always keep him secure. Arunachala has a gem casket, and he collects lot of gems. And what are Arunachala's gems? Real mature seekers, Arunachala collects and keeps with himself. Melliyer shernd ni menmayutranai. Bhagavan says, you collect devotees, you collect simple devotees, humble devotees, and keep them like a precious jewel. So here, Shapadunai Sharnde, I came to you to experience you, that experience the truth, but I ceased to exist as a person, and I also became one with you. Tan padam yanakku tandanan. Bhagavan says in Arunachala, in another hymn, he says, when I came to Arunachala, Arunachala transmitted his own state to me. Arunachala transmitted his own state. Padam means state. Padam to me. So here, Shapadunai Sharnd Unavayin Shantamai Povan Arunachala. I, eager to swallow thee in one sweep came, though to the loss of me drank me to the least. That is the translation that they have given for Nammalvar. So, Shantamai Povan, that Shanti. In the next verse, I told you already, Bhagavan Actually, this Aksharamanamalai is the best commentary available for Ulladinarpadu. Ulladinarpadu is from teacher's standpoint. Here, Bhagavan is giving us the teaching how to approach the master, how to ask the Guru, because Guru is not a flattery lover. Just you go and praise him by songs, your eyes are beautiful, your nose is beautiful, your head is beautiful. He will not like it. So then, how did all these great saints, they sang? Arunachala also loved their hymns. He wanted his devotees to sing about him. One great sage came to Tiruvannamalai about 600 years back. You can see his samadhi above the hill. Guhai Namah Shivaya. When he came, he wanted to enter the big temple. Suddenly he heard Arunachaleshwara's voice. Don't ask me how. You have to learn that language. That language is not English, that language is not Tamil or Sanskrit. That is not made of words. The moment you learn to listen to that language of the Lord, you may perhaps call it as intuition, but it is more clear than any tuition. When we speak through our mouth, there will be doubt, but that is perfect. So when Guhai Namah Shivaya came to Tiruvannamalai, Arunachaleshwara said, he was not a Tamil person, he was from Karnataka. So when he came, Arunachaleshwara said, stop. He wanted to enter the temple. Arunachaleshwara said, you can come in after singing one Tamil song. See that this person is not a Tamil person. And Arunachaleshwara asked him to sing a Tamil song. And he said, oh, this is Lord's order. He sat there. With the power of his austerity, he absorbed Tamil and he sang innumerable songs. He sang 100 songs, then only he entered Arunachaleshwara's presence. So Arunachaleshwara wanted him to sing, but by the time, that great fulfillment has already happened. It is not a question of song. Arunachaleshwara wanted him to wait before coming inside. Even with Bhagavan, Arunachaleshwara brought him to his presence after giving his experience. So after giving that Shivanubhuti, he brought Bhagavan here. So too, he said, he gave the message to Guhai Namah Shivaya, stay there, sing some songs and come. By the time he had that experience. And you know what he sang? He said, I don't want to be an emperor, a big king. I don't want to be the ruler of gods. I will be a beggar in Tiruvannamalai streets. I will beg and eat in Tiruvannamalai streets. Mannala petridinum vendeen, Vanavarallam paniya vinnala petridinum vendeen. Shonagiri Pittanar Sannidhikke Pichai undu vaazhapperin, he said. So Arunachaleshwara wanted his devotee to sing, but that song is only an expression of that inner experience. And the anubhuti comes, that self-experience comes, it should be in the form of poetry, in the form of song. So it came out like that. For Bhagavan also, Aksharamanamalai came out like that. Bhagavan refused to write. Devotees were constantly pestering Bhagavan to write. Bhagavan, give us something, write something. Bhagavan said, what is there to write? All the 63 saints have written. What more to write? What more to write? And one day, when Bhagavan was going for Pradakshina, one devotee gave a paper and a pencil. Bhagavan wrote, Arunachalamana ahame ninai pavar. Ahattai vera rupai Arunachala. The very first verse is, the moment you think Arunachala, he swallows your ego. He completely roots out your ego. So thus that song came gushing forth from his heart. So Bhagavan got that experience, and his bhakti, his song was only an outer expression of his Atmanubhuti. But here, a real devotee, Bhagavan considers all his devotees, and he is giving us the teaching how to approach the master, how to pray to him, what should we ask. And here Bhagavan himself is asking Arunachala, Chittam kulira gadir hastam vaittu amudavayai tira arunmati Arunachala. First, that Sambodhana, the way Arunachala is being addressed, Arul Mati. Mati also means moon, it also means intellect. Arul means grace, the power to transmit spiritual experience. See, that is grace, the power to transmit spiritual experience. And all our Shastras, everything is grace. Sometimes grace will make its own way. One devotee asked Bhagavan, Bhagavan, is it possible to get Atma Jnanam if a person is not mature? Bhagavan said, only a mature person can get it. Then the devotee said, Bhagavan, if the person is not mature, why can't you make us mature? If we are not mature, you have to make us mature and give that jnanam. But you know, the way Ishvara operates, sometimes he will do surgery. That will be very painful. So the real way of grace is giving you this teaching, giving you the freedom to slowly absorb it, slowly take it inside, so that jnana also is like fire, it can hurt. That is why in another place Bhagavan says, Patrindri Vadamal. Usually people can live only with attachment. If suddenly the attachment is cut, you will become dry. Unless you get that highest experience which can complete the process, you will become dry. You will wither. So the best form of grace is this teaching. The teaching is already given to you. You have to see the beauty of that teaching. You have to take it. If you are not mature enough to receive it, you have to do all the practices to make yourself mature. And that very sadhana is joy. That very practice is joy. We should not seek shortcut methods. Shortcut methods will directly take you to some dangerous place. So don't ask for any shortcut. Take the only one and only path. That is the scriptures, the teaching which is being given to you. Take them, absorb them slowly. Don't be over anxious to attain anything. It is vulgar. It is more beautiful to be an ignorant person than to be vulgarously ambitious, even spiritually. Trying to become something. Because we need not become anything. The moment we have got Bhagavan, we have got such a great master, that force will take care of. So slowly take the jnana, absorb it, let it go into your system, let it become your nature. Anything that has not become your nature will hurt, will create conflict. So absorb it, assimilate it, then that complete Shitalata, that coolness, that Shanti will descend. So here the disciple is asking the master, you give me that grace, Chittam Kulira, Gatir Hastam Vait. Arunachaleshwara is the sun, splendorous, effulgent sun of jnana. So here this disciple is asking Arunachaleshwara to put his hand, and hand is that ray. That ray. Gati also means jnanam, hastam means hand, gati means refuge or path or speed, everything. Chittam kulira. The effect is chittam kulira. My mind has to become cool. Somehow resembling this kulira and cool. Language, philology you have to do. In Tamil it is kulira, and in English it is cool. It's very rarely you will find resemblance between Tamil and English. Sanskrit, lot of resemblance you will find with English. Almost all the words in original words in English you can see in Sanskrit. Matru, mother, brother, swasra, sister, paternal, pitru, father, they, everything is same. Aham, I am. You, you. Vayam, we. This will become a language class. So, Chittam Kulira. Just a small distraction, that's all. Chittam Kulira. When the mind becomes cool, because it is burning, no? See, ignorance is making you burn like a cauldron, like a cooker. In Tamil, usually I will say, you put maavu inside, it will come out as idli. So much of burning heat is there inside. So that very prayer has so much power inside. Longing is there. Bhagavan says, Arunachaleshwara, let my mind become cool. Let the heart become Shitala. Chittam kulire. How will it become cool? Put your hand in my head. Gadir hastam vait. That is hasta diksha. Sometimes the master touches the disciple and something opens up. The mind becomes cool. Everything becomes Shitalam. There was one great Swami in Kerala, Swami Abhedananda Bharati. He was a great devotee. Formerly he was doing yoga sadhana, Hatha Yoga sadhana. So while doing Hatha Yoga sadhana, he came to Tiruvannamalai, and somewhere in the old hall, behind the doors, he was sitting doing pranayama. And Bhagavan came down from the hills, And while entering the hall, Bhagavan's hand touched his head. Casually, Bhagavan's hand touched his head, and Bhagavan looked at him also. Just looked at him, and he was doing pranayama. Bhagavan made a remark. Said, Vashi pare. Why so much stubbornness? Asked Bhagavan. And just went. See, Bhagavan's path is jnanam. But you know what happened? That one touch completely transformed the person's spiritual path. He was doing yoga sadhana. After that, he completely turned towards bhakti. He himself has said this. Completely that yoga sadhana, that root, that inner flow changed. He was moving the path of yoga, suddenly it became bhakti. He said that one touch from Bhagavan's hand, unconsciously. Many have prayed to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, please put your hand in our head. Bhagavan said, see, that is why Bhagavan had to have that attendance, because devotees are very dangerous people. See, some devotee, they went to Swami Ramdas, and Swami Ramdas used to say, Ramdas is always afraid about devotees, because one devotee bit his feet, finger in the feet. Chapat. So it is very, you have to see that. So Bhagavan generally never accepted. When people asked him to initiate, Bhagavan said initiation is not something which the Guru does with effort. It happens. The inner being is initiating. Guru is only a channel. The master is only a channel. So here the disciple is praying to the master, that invoking that inner being, invoking Ishvara, give me that experience. Gadir hastam vaita amudavayaittira. There are two kind of interpretations for this. One interpretation is from the standpoint of yoga. In Ramana Gita, Bhagavan himself has spoken about it, that there is many nerves in the body, innumerable nerves, not necessarily simply what you learn in medical science or neurology. That is not complete. See, each thought can create a nerve. Each thought can create a new cell in the brain. So there are innumerable nerves in the system, and the Upanishad says Shatam Chaika Hridayasya Nadyaha. 101 important nerves, and that one nerve, one nadi, goes from the heart to the head. That is Amrita Nadi. And that generally remains closed. It has no work in ordinary human beings. It has no work. That department is permanent holiday. Because unless you become holy, that will not open. That hole will not open. So that remains closed. The mind will not start flowing through that nadi. Many had that experience in Bhagavan's presence, that yogic way of experiencing it. So when that power falls, descends, that Shaktipata, suddenly it opens up. Once it starts working, you start experiencing the pulsation of the spurti, that aham, 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 aham. That spurti gets activated only when that center opens. Suddenly Bhagavan's teaching becomes very meaningful. It looks like only then you see light in it. Then the very word I has a new dimension. It is not simply first person in grammar. It suddenly becomes your center, like when you churn, butter gets separated from the curd, like that you see something getting separated from your inner pool. Something like nectar, something like amrita. When the Purana said Devas and Asuras, they were churning and the nectar came. Something like that arises from the heart center opens, that Amrita Nadi opens, and a new path, a Devayana. Upanishad says Devayana. If there is even a small fiber of falsehood in you, that path will not open. Esham na jimham na anartam teshameva satyena pantha vitato devayana. The Upanishad says satyena pantha vitato devayana. There is no layers in your personality. You are also like a column of fire. No untruth, no falsehood, no conflict inside. Crystal clear. Then vitataha, it opens up. What opens up? That path of light. That path of effulgence opens up. That Devayana opens up. From the heart center to the head, that means what? From this plane of existence to another divine realm. It is not the body. Body is the world. There is no world apart from the body. It's all imagination. Outside you are sitting, this is body, inside some world. No. Body is the world. Any movement happening in this physical system will make a movement in the galaxies, in the solar system. Any single movement will touch the sun, the moon, the wind, the entire space. You cannot make a small movement without making a movement in the space, because space is nothing but your own body. Sun is nothing but your own eyes. Moon is nothing but your own mind. So the entire universe is in the body. So when the Amrita Nadi opens, a current of light, a current of a stream of effulgence starts gushing upwards. And the recognition of that self, that Shiva Tattva happens. This Bhagavan says in Ramana Gita. So Amrita Nadi opens in the Jnani. Amudavayaitira Arulmati Arunachala. To make the whole thing simple, the disciple is asking the Jnana Guru Amudavayaitira means when the master opens his mouth, what does he declare? He says, he tells you, Tattvamasi, you are that, I am you. I am one with you. You look at the teacher as the infinite being, as Ishvara, and he appears before you. In your awareness, he is not like a flower or a tree or a rock absolutely outside. No. A real master, although when he appears before you, there is no space between you and him, and he whispers, he breathes into you that teaching. He just transmits himself into you, and gives you the teaching in your heart that you are me. Muruganar wrote many songs where he said, Bhagavan told me, fear not. Do not fear. Abhayam, abhayam. Anjal, anjal. Anjade. And Devaraja Mudalayar, another devotee, made fun of Muruganar. He said, you poets are like this. You always write bluff. Did Bhagavan tell you, fear not? Did he tell you, abhayam, abhayam? I have given you abhayam. Why have you written like this? Muruganar became very emotional. And he said, don't say like that. He told me innumerable times by mere look. And then Devaraja Mudalayar said, that is true. Because they all have felt it. It need not be verbally. Very look told me, fear not. Abhayam, abhayam. And Bhagavan also asked Arunachala, please tell me abhayam. He says, Anjalendre Arul Arunachala. The greatest benefit that a seeker can get it is this promise from a master that fear not. Once he has heard it, his life after that will be a peaceful flow. That courage will come. That fearlessness will come. So here Bhagavan says, tell me that Mahavakya. Give me that teaching, that Mahavakya, by which I will know that I am the deathless spirit. Amudavayaitira. Open your mouth and declare to me that great Vakya by which I will come to know that I am Brahman. First, we looked at it from the yogic standpoint. That is also true from the experiential plane. But what happens with a master, how he opens it, it is so simple. He says, what is there in you is God. What is looking at me through those eyes is Brahman. What is experienced by you as your own existence, as Sat, as Aham, 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 I. The moment you pay attention and look at it, that consciousness will shine forth as the divisionless infinite being, as Brahman. No more this spell of Maya, this spell of limitation, this spell of hypnosis which has convinced you that you are going to die. The master breaks that spell and he makes you experience that you are the deathless being, which happened to Bhagavan in Madurai. Death came, he walked over it. He dealt a death blow to death. Just finished it off. No more death. Because death is only a name for the body. The inner one can never die. That is why we never believe death. We see many deaths, but we never think we are going to die. Why? If it is a fact, you should be always afraid. But you are not. Somewhere you have that taste of deathlessness hiding. But it is not clear. At the same time, the experience is there. That is why we are living as if we are going to stay eternally. But when we consider the body, we will die. So sometimes that fear comes, but it is not powerful enough to stay. It goes. Leaving that adhisthana, which is substratum, which is fearless. Fear cannot touch your real being. So Amudavayetra, Lord, open your mouth and give me that teaching. Give me that Vedanta Jnana. The moment you tell me that I am the self, I am Brahman, I am Atma, my mind will become cool, it will become settled in the heart. Chittam kulira, the heart can become cool only when you come to know that you have no work to do, you have nothing to achieve, nothing to attain, no place to reach, nothing to become, no desire to be fulfilled, and completely you feel released. Eternal holiday. Children, when they get a holiday, so much joy. For a jnani, it is eternal holiday. Nothing to, no engagement at all. Just imagine that joy. That joy can stay only when the senses are completely disciplined, the mind is disciplined. Otherwise, the joy that we imagine is the freedom of the mind, freedom of the senses, freedom of the body is slavery to the self. It is freedom from the mind, freedom from the senses, freedom from the body, freedom from all encumbrances, all duty, or everything goes away. You feel you are eternally released, timelessly released. There is no more death, no more thing to achieve, and that completion comes. And the Upanishad, the sages, they sang Appahavu. They said, Etat samagayan aste ha vuha vuha vu. This havu has no special meaning. It only shows that complete relaxation of the sage. The sage says, finished. How you finished everything? Because there is no more matter. I am matter. I am the spirit. I am the matter. There is no division between me and the world. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. I am the food. I am the eater. I am the hunger. And I am the completion, wholeness, satisfaction. So when that completion, that Atmanubhuti comes only when you touch the deepest core of your center, that existence, that mere isness. When Guru, that Deshika points that center, your attention is turned towards that inner realm where you see yourself. the brain becomes like a mirror to reflect the inner being. Your own existence as I am, as aham, I. You look at it, no more you find a person there. No more you find a man or woman there. No more you find a person with senses or mind there. You see the Lord Himself there. Shiva Himself there. That Shiva shines forth in your heart. Shiva Ati Shitala Paramashivam. That is Chittam Kulira. Shiva means He is full of coolness. In his head is moon, that is also very cool. And there is Ganga, that is also very cool. He remains in Himalayas, that is also very cool. And he looks like as if he is made of ice, very cool. And the great devotee Jnana Sambandha says, how, in what forms should we worship Shiva? Not with that shula, that weapon. Jnana Sambandha says, my Lord sits with the veena, that music instrument, veena. Veyuru Toji Pangan Vidamunda Kandan. He swallows the poison. Mind is the poison, ignorance is the poison. When you go to Him, He just swallows your poison. You go with, what will you give to the Lord? When you go to a master, the disciple goes with his mind, and that is the most poisonous stuff in the world. And the devotee with so much devotion tells the Guru, Master, I have nothing to give you other than my own mind. And you think that is a good offering? That can create cancer to the Guru. So, Vidamunda Kanthan, Ishvara, He swallowed your poison. Veyuru Toji Pangan Vidamunda Kanthan Miganalla Veenai Tadavi. He sits there with that Veenai, that music instrument, and he is playing that primordial sound. Miganalla Veenai Tadavi Maasharu Tingal Gangai Mudimel Anindu. That Tingal is moon. Ganga In Ulame Pugunda Adanal, He has entered my heart. Now what is your experience? The devotee says, Nyayaru Tingal Sevvai Budan Vyayam Velli Shani Pam Birandumudane. All the 9 planets, all the 7 days of the week, all the days in a month, all the years, Asharu Nalla Nalla, Avai Nalla Nalla, everything is good, everything is noble. Nothing can no more create any problem for me because He is sitting in my heart. Adiyaravarku migave. For the devotee, everything is noble, every day is good. No more astrology, no more any other science. Everything ceases. So when you have that God who have that jnanam which can make you cool, and your mati is intellect, becomes, that stillness comes, that stillness can create such coolness in you. Each thought is a strain. Each thought is a friction. Each thought can disturb you, unsettle you. Sleep also can disturb you. Sleep is thought in another form. When sleep expresses itself, it becomes thought. When thought merges itself, it is sleep. That is why in Devikalavataram Bhagavan says, Niddirayalum, Ninaivadiyalum, Manam Mudamiga Shirayum. By more sleep also you will become dull. By more thinking also you will become dull. But the Master gave such a state which is neither sleep nor thinking. There is such silence, such profound Nischalata. And that Nischalata gave such stillness, such coolness, such dripping peace inside. Chittam kulira. Gadir hastam vaitu, he kept his hand in my head. Amudavayaitira, he opened that stream of nectar, stream of self-experience. That self-experience is not just a glimpse. The Master made me abide uninterruptedly in that stream. That means there is no interruption in that Jiva Brahmaikya Bhava. There is no moment when you are not conscious that you are Brahman. Because if there is a gap, through that gap, Maya can enter. So there is no gap in that jnana. That jnana is like Akasha Kalpak jnana, that infinite. It is not adridak jnanam, it is not weak, it is so stable that always you are conscious, and that awareness was planted in your being. It was not simply some mental wave, it is not simply in some thought wave that I know I am self, I am Atma, all this intellect or mental, no. It has gone inside and yet it has make you wake up to that glory, and you know that this jnanam is already there in you eternally, and it is not by your power. Once you know that jnanam is your real nature, as light is for fire, as burning heat is for fire, this jnanam is your nature. Once you recognize it, no more fall from that state. Gadir hastam vait. Gadir means, gati means jnanam, avagatihi. Shankaracharya in his Upanishad commentary, Katopanishad, he says, if you go to a real teacher, avagatihi bhavati eva. It is certain that you will have that realization. If you are really earnest, and if the teacher, if the master is abiding in that state, if there is no space between you and him, that jnanam has to happen. Avagatihi bhavati eva. That avagati is gati. So, gatir hastam vait. That hastam, ayam me hasto bhagavan, ayam me bhagavattaraha. That Sri Rudram says, this hand is God. This hand is Shiva, and this hand is more than Shiva, he says. Because when the master puts his hand, he gives you that realization. So, Chittam Gulira Gatir Hastam Vait Amudavayaitira, make me see that Amritanubhava, that immortal nature, immortal beingness. Make me recognize it. Arul Mati Arunachala. Arunachala, you are the cool moon, and your light is the light of grace. Your silvery light is grace. And once I bask in that light, all my suffering, all my inner turmoil will come to an end. And that Shitalata, that Chittam Kulirnda Bhava, it will come to me. So Jnanam is not a tense state. It gives you that complete lightness, complete freedom, complete release from all artificiality. It makes you abide in your simple, ever available glory. Mahima. The Upanishad says Mahima. Mahima means glory. So that one has to seek from a guru only that. You are not asking for anything else. You are asking only for the teaching. The teaching which can remove the dust from your brain, the dust of ignorance, the dust of doubt, the cobwebs of doubt. Once you clear them, once the ignorance is all cleansed, the brain itself, the intellect itself becomes cool. The mind becomes cool. And that Shetalata, that Shantam, last song Bhagavan said Shantam. This song Bhagavan says Kulirmai. And all same, that Shantam is heart, that Kulirmai is heart, that coolness is the experience of heart. This spiritual heart you cannot locate as an organ. The heart which Bhagavan speaks about, you cannot touch it like an organ. You cannot see it inside the body. But once you have the experience, you locate it. That experience is its body. That experience is its form. That experience itself is heart. And that heart is Arunachala. Bhagavan says, Arunachala, your name is heart. You are the Hridayam. So, that Hridayam is coolness, that completion of our spiritual life. So, Chittam Kulire, Gadir Hastam Vaitamudavayetira Arunmati Arunachala, the 29th verse we have finished. We will see in the next verse, again the seeker is asking Guru to give him the teaching by which the covering of the ignorance will go. Shirai Alit, Nirvanamai Shet, Arul Shirai Alit, Arul Arunachala. Arunachala Aksharamanamalai is Arul Nachala Aksharamanamalai, we can say. So many places Bhagavan has used the word Arul, Arul, Arul. 54 place Bhagavan has used Arul Nachala, Arul, Arul, Arul. So many places Bhagavan is using that word because that principle, that Anugraha Tattvam alone can completely erase the ego. Even the sadhana samskara will not stay. Otherwise, even for a person who have got it, this footprints, these impressions of the path that he walked will be there in his system. But when the grace cascades into him, even this samskara, these impressions of sadhana also will go. Completely it will be washed clean. He becomes like a child, completely free. So that Bhagavan is giving a next song that we will see tomorrow, 9:30. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, 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 Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachyam mama kinchidasti yatha taveshtam kurumam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhaj. Anilji, Anil.